Hey everyone, it's very early in the morning and I'm super excited because we are going to be kicking off our Facebook free coaching time Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I want to say I am super excited about helping you win before the new year hits. How about that? Now, a lot of times we have opportunities that are sitting in front of us, and we simply let those opportunities pass us by. And all throughout the week, we have one word that we have been focusing on since we began in our coaching, and that word is procrastination. Yes, we've been talking about what happens when people procrastinate, when they have what we call delayed action. You know, a lot of us have goals that we want to reach before the end of the year. A lot of people have goals to make more money. A lot of people have goals to find new jobs. A lot of people have goals to do a lot of things. And then somehow we allow life circumstances to weigh on us so much that we say, can my real change truly happen? Now, I am super excited because this year I'm kicking off our coaching live streams Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if this is for you, please put in the comments, oh my gosh, I'm super excited. Please heart it up if you watch later. But the reason why I'm doing this, honestly, is because with the hundreds and goodness, thousands of people I have taught throughout all of my tenure, one of the number one things I recognize is that people feel like they cannot reach their goals because of the life circumstances that seem to catapult all of us, right? You didn't ask for the job to be taken away. You didn't ask for the breakup. You didn't ask for, all these challenges to come your way. And when these challenges come, we absorb it as though those challenges equal our destiny. I also remember a time years ago when there was this young lady who she came up to me and said that her mom had blown crack in her face and told her that that was going to be her future. Oh my goodness. It was really hard to listen to that. And so, a lot of us have these moments in our lives, we call them our formative years, where there have been some great things that have happened and there have been some challenging things that have happened. And maybe you're looking at your life like, what does that have to do with where I'm at right now? What happened in my life 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago have to do with where I am at presently? And to be quite honest, a lot of us don't realize that we received a lot of messages when we were younger. We received nonverbal messages and we received verbal messages that told us what to think about how we react to certain situations. For example, if you were bullied for years, maybe now you're less of a risk taker because you don't want anyone to say no to you because you can't stand the thought of being rejected. Or maybe you were someone that has a fear of success because maybe you got to a place in your life where you wasn't sure if you could handle that pressure. Or, maybe you've always had a problem with self-doubt. See, these are all components that cause us to forget that we were all born with unique fingerprints. And I want to read this excerpt from this book, Chronicles of a Poet. And if you don't have it, go out and buy it. But it's a small affirmation. It says, I am victorious, not because of who I will be tomorrow. My being is firm today. This very minute forming lights my path for sure. I'm not questioning my moment in the seconds passing. I am proclaiming my peace. So I want to start off today by letting you know that if you really need some encouragement, I want you to pretend that, you can say to yourself with full assurance, I have peace, even if there's a whole lot going on, and there's more that I can do. I have peace, and there's more that I can do. And guess what? It doesn't even matter if no one sees you making that proclamation or affirmation. See, true change and true transformation can only happen, I believe, when it stems from within. Because you can be motivated externally, people can pump you up all day long, but then there comes a point where you have to say to yourself, how bad, how committed am I towards reaching this new goal? And a lot of times we just give up way too soon. So I want you to remember, you know what? I can have peace right now. I can do new things right now. I don't have to accept my circumstance right now. And I can decide, you know what? I'm going to take some drastic action. I'm going to do some new things today. I may not be perfect. I might not have it all together, but I will not procrastinate. Can you say that? I will no longer procrastinate. So I want to encourage you, if you're going to work today, if you're getting up and going to work, if you've got responsibilities, I want you to say to yourself, even if I have 15 minutes in the entire workday, I'm going to use those 15 minutes to focus. Some of you want to be authors one day. When is that going to happen? When are you actually going to sit down and write? When are you actually going to sit down and put a date by the very thing you say you want to do? I want to ask you to do something different this morning. Take an action that you are pretty much going to surprise yourself with. Take an action and say, you know what? I'm going to scale. I'm going to grow. If you're in coaching with me, what can you do differently today? What are some new steps you can take today to go forward? That's the question, because if you keep doing the same things that you've been doing, you're going to get what you've already had. Oh my goodness. So I want to remind you that today you can take a drastic action. A drastic action. You can say, I am going to wipe the slate completely clean. And I'm just going to focus on today. I'm just going to focus on working out today. I'm just going to focus on spending less today. I'm just going to focus on being happy today. I'm going to smile in this moment. See, we always have an opportunity. The question is, what are you going to do with the opportunities? There are opportunities around you every second of the day. If we were just to open our eyes and try something different, we might be surprised at what we see. So I want to challenge you, and I want to remind you, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m., make sure you tune in to the IWBCC private group. We've made it private so that all of you who've shown interest, who are engaging, who are ready to go and grow, are in this community. It's a real tribe. So we understand if this is not for you, it's not for everyone. And you can also update your membership in the group, but we really want individuals who are really ready to win, ready to soar, ready to do new things. Lastly, you can also catch me on Dr. D Inspire on Sundays. So make sure, if you haven't and you have an IG page, make sure you go follow me there. And we even are kicking off a YouTube page. So I want you to stay connected, because these are awesome free tools and tips that you can use to get you to your other side of your dream or your goal. So let's talk about this group for a second. You know, why did I form the International Woman Build Confidence Conference with my senior partner, Allana Da Graca? Well, you know, for many years, I would teach, I would talk to people, and a lot of times, women would come up to me and say, I just don't feel supported, or I would do more if I knew the steps that I could take. And that led me to really saying, you know what more can be done to help individuals reach their personal and professional goals? And that's how you're seeing me here today. From one, live stream on Instagram, talking to people about reaching goals, to 7 ladies, and you guys know who the UPML 7 original are, to 7 ladies signing up to be a part of our Upgrade My Life process. We formed an awesome conference, and from that, so much has happened. Friendships have formed, people have engaged. I always get testimonials and emails from women who say, oh my goodness, if it wasn't for the tribe, I don't know what I would have done when I was going through this, challenging time. If it wasn't for the tribe, I probably would not have been able to transition into this new position. I would not have been able to do the new things that I'm doing. So I want to thank everybody in the tribe, all of you who've signed up and you are part of IWBCC. I want to say thank you so much for being a part of the tribe, because you make it meaningful, you make it engaging, you make it super exciting. And I want to say thank you. And I want to encourage you not to throw in the towel and quit. I don't know why as women we think sometimes that we can take everything in and we don't have to process anything out. It's like, I'll serve my family, I'll serve my job, I'll do this, and then I'll get to me. I'll help you, I'll serve you, and then I'll get to me. But truth be told, we sometimes sacrifice our own sanity, wellness, rest, and all of that because we're such givers, we're such nurturers. Sometimes we nurture things way too long. So I want to remind you again to stay in the tribe. Try to find moments where you can always say, I'm not feeling good right now. Maybe I put a sad emoji in the IWBCC page and let the ladies know, oh my gosh, I need a word of encouragement because I'm not feeling it today. Sometimes it's okay to say, I'm not feeling great. Other times it's okay to share a win. So we want to hear your told you spark moments. These are like things that are great happening for you, not just random links, right? These are just personal things that you have been able to expand upon as you have grown this year. So again, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're going to be doing Dr. D Inspired Coaching right here. So you just tune on in, 7 a.m. And for the most part, you'll see me on the live. And sometimes you may have an archived video, but don't miss your opportunity to go and grow. And if this is for you, I want to know, hey, how are you doing this morning? I'm going to be giving away prizes to people that are most engaging, to people who post photos of themselves trying to reach new goals. I want to see you win. So I love seeing a lot of engagement activity. Not that you're glued to the IWBCC page, but check in every now and then. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know if you've recently gone to a conference, a workshop, a training. We love to hear stories about how you were able to grow after attending one of our workshops or one of the conferences or one of the coaching moments. So I want to see some of you grow. Also, we're also building our Woman Build Confidence leadership. So if you want to learn how to be a leader, and for example, you like how I'm speaking and you say, oh my goodness, one day I want to be a speaker, or one day I want to be a writer, then you might want to be a part of our WBC leadership group. But if you're a business owner and you're trying to start a new business, maybe you decide, you know what, I want to be a part of business communication mastery. I want to learn how to form my business. I want to learn how to communicate around my business and how to create an authentic brand. Then if that's you, then you want to learn more about BCM. So we've had a wonderful time. Hey, I see Liz Marie. Hey, good to see you, Liz. I see Elizabeth and I see Yukai Maridi. Good to see you. Thanks for streaming in. Guys, so we're starting exactly at 7 a.m. It's time for me to get started for our 10 minutes. Well, I first want to know, how are you doing? I also want you to let me know, where do you stream in from if you watch this later? Again, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with Dr. D here right in our live stream. So this week we've been talking about procrastination and we've been talking about delayed action. And one of the things that we talked about is sometimes when life gets in the way, we start to feel like, you know what? I can't focus on these new goals. I don't have the resources. I don't have the time. I don't have the friends. And a lot of times we use that as the recourse as to why we can't take action. So let's just talk about 2 things that you can do today to actually take action. 2 things you can do. So number 1, you've got to get started even when you don't feel like it. Can you say that? I'm going to get started even when I don't feel like it. So a lot of times when we fall off, we initially start out with a goal or something we want to do. We're really pumped up the first 3 days. We're really pumped up the next 3 days. And after around day 15, many times we may have diverted, like we may have started strong and then slowed down in our hustle. Well, when that happens, we usually say, well, oh, well, too much time has gone by. I might as well not get back up on the bike. But think about this. When you were a child and you were learning how to ride a bike, you didn't just get on a bike and start riding down the street. Your parents or your caretaker gave you a bike with training wheels, and you started to ride that bike, and you started to ride it with the training wheels until you were comfortably able to take off the wheels. And even then, when you took off the wheels, you may have ridden the bike, but fallen off, gotten back on it, and every time you got off, someone told you, hey, get back on, get back on. Can you say, I'm going to get back on? Because a lot of times when we fall and come up, we fall, we come up, we think, oh, this dream is not for me. But I want to remind you, it's just a matter of your habitual training. So you may have started something, fallen, Don't give up. Every time we're trying to do something new, we're going to fight. We're going to have some incongruence because that's a natural part of growth. So I want to encourage you, write down in the comment box, what are some of the things you were striving to do and you feel like you have completely parked? Can you do that? So when you think about that, I want you to now say to yourself or get a journal and say, hey, I have fallen off, but today I'm going to do something to get back up. And I literally mean it. That's the only way change happens. Drastic action, you fell off, get up. What can you do today? Let's say, oh my gosh, I stopped going to the gym. It's just not working for me. I stopped eating healthy. What could you do today? You can eat a salad. You can eat an apple. You can call your nutritionist. You can do something different that aligns with your goal. Number two. So once you recognize that you have fallen off and you want to get back on, number 2, wipe the slate completely clean. I have a very small booklet called the Woman Build Confidence booklet that you can get on Amazon. But when you read the last chapter, it just says, wipe the slate clean. Like, you know what? All the history of yesterday is gone. You can't get back 10 minutes ago. But you can wipe the slate clean and say, okay, what can I do in the next 7 hours? Not what can I do 3 months from now? No, what can you do within the next 7 hours? What's one action you can take in the next 7 hours? Because that's the only way your drastic action is going to work. So we need you to write down an actual action that you can take, to move forward. So honestly, that's it. It's literally like if you have fallen and gotten up, make the decision to be consistent, even with your inconsistency, because that's what's going to allow you to grow. And number 2, wipe the slate clean. Can you wipe the slate clean today? Now let's talk about this. It's hard to wipe the slate clean when everyone around you keeps reminding you that you're still stuck. So sometimes when you're trying to do something different, you are going to have to say, I don't care if everyone is used to me being like this. I'm going to do something different. I am going to do something different. So even if you don't see the results, yet, you can say, I am going to do something different. Good morning, Janelle. Good to see you today. Miss you, love you, hugging you. So you can say, I'm going to wipe the slate clean. Go higher. I'm wiping the slate clean. Can you do that? Show me the hand and go boom. Some of you do need to make more income. Let me say that again. Some of you do need to make more income. Some of you do need stronger relationships. Some of you do need to forgive yourself. Some of you do need to say, oh, it's a lot. But I'm committed. Because let me tell you something. It's one thing when people see you on the top of the mountain They have no idea how many times you were climbing it, falling, climbing it, and falling. I can tell you so many stories about when I first began. Actually, I can tell you a story I remember when I was pretty young, but I'd started out in television. And I recognized that I loved communication and I wanted to do something more. And I started to just kind of do some soul searching and talk to a lot of people in the industry and talk to people outside of it. And I started telling them, oh, one day I want to be a speaker. One day I would like to empower individuals. One day I want to make money encouraging people to reach their goals. And I remember all the people who told me that that was simply not possible. Everyone I talked to said, how are you going to make money doing that? Who is going to make money doing that? And I remember, because I thought they knew more than I did, I bought what they told me. I bought what other people's experiences were. See, sometimes when people tell you that your goal cannot happen, it's not because they mean you any harm. It's because it didn't happen for them. It's because they didn't understand how it could work, or maybe they didn't have the process in place and they don't want you to experience pain. So they tell you, oh no, it's not going to work. But I want to encourage you, especially if you have felt slighted or down about your goals. Even if you said, man, I've been 300 pounds and I can't wait to be a healthy weight, or my bank account is negative and I can't wait till it's a positive, or I can't wait till one day I'm standing there before people who really need to hear my story and I'm telling it and I'm making a lucrative income. Guess what? It can happen for you. It can happen for you. You know, you got up every day, you went to your regular job, you did what you had to do, right? And why couldn't it be that you get up and do the very thing that drives you into joy? Why can't it be that you can't be that person? I'm sorry. I want to encourage those of you who watch now and watch later. Some of you, I need to tell you this, and I need you to get this, because this is exclusively for those of you who really need some encouragement. You got to step in when nobody is around. You've got to step in when you feel like you have no support. You have to step into your dream and say, oh no, I know what I saw when I closed my eyes and I went to bed and I had that vision that I was going to have the speaking business that was going to touch lives. I know what I saw and felt when I spoke and people hugged me and they said, wow, I needed your encouragement. I know what I felt when I was loving on people. Why can't you remember that versus just looking at what's not there? See, a lot of times we get lost in what we don't see, but I want to encourage you today, if you can see me, then if you can see me, then I hope this is a good, what we call a testimony. This is a good example of what can happen in your own life, because I feel like I'm no different than anyone else. The only difference is that I chose to persist. And that's what I want to encourage you to do today. I want you to persist. Persistence is that ability, and persistence is that ability that we have to keep going up the mountain, even when things are coming at us. We're like, yep, boom, that bill hit me. Oh my gosh, I'm going to keep going. Yep, boom. This person got on my nerves. I'm going to get back up. Yep, boom. No one knows what's going on in my life. I'm in that basement. I'm in the cellar. I'm trying to make things happen. Boom, but I'm getting back up. Ooh, I have hairs raising, y'all, because it's making me think about moments when, when I was starting out, nobody knew who I was. Nobody was calling me to go speak on their stages. No organization was calling me to go and give them a system and a strategy to reach professional goals. I just remembered saying, I don't care. I don't care if no one knows me. I'm going to stand in my empty living room. I'm going to talk to my cat. And one day, I will be in the places and the spaces that I really envision. So can you say that one day I will be in the places and the spaces that I envision? Come on now. If you watch this now or if you watch this later, I hope you can feel this energy, because I'm going over my 10 minutes. I don't care, because truly there are too many of us that are living below our potential. I just have to say it. Too many of us are living below our potential. Some of you still have books in you that need to come out. Some of you still have songs in you that you stopped singing. Woo! Some of you have lost hope. And I want to encourage you that you don't have to lose the hope. Why do we do the things that we do? Why are you waking up every day? Why are you coming in here to look at this video? Why are you striving to go and touch those lives? Why are you doing it? Now, I'm going to leave y'all with this last story because it's my story. It's a true story. You know why I wake up every day and do what I'm doing? What got me up when no one knew who I was? Because I often think of little Allana. I call her little Allana. That little Allana with no self-esteem. That little Allana that no one necessarily said you're so beautiful. That little Allana that people looked at and said, oh, you're too chocolate and all of these things. I remember little Allana. And every time I think of all the other little Allanas and the big, all the other little Allanas that are now adults, I say we need to heal those broken hearts, right? We need to find a way to get you back to that perfect person you were when you were uniquely created, when you had no idea about the assumptions and the limitations and all that stuff. Get back to that, because if we can get back to that core of who we were when we were created, wow, isn't that exciting? If you could lift off all the negative words people told you, if you could lift off all the guilt and the shame that you had from anything you experienced and come out of that and say, I'm a new person, wow. If you can really lift yourself out of that. I mean, think about, some of you are moms, so think about the joy you had when you looked at your baby. When you looked at your precious child, you didn't say, oh, look at this child, they're like this and they're like, well, most of us didn't, right? So you looked at that child and you just had so much joy and so much dream, and you smiled looking at the child because you were like, oh my gosh, look at what it took to carry this baby. So many of you have had that experience, and that's what your dreams are really like. It's like, you have these growing pains and and you're like, oh my gosh, why am I going through this? But the moment you saw your baby, the moment you saw that new addition, you said it was all worth it. Wow, I am getting chills as I say this, because truly, I know that when I'm speaking, it's touching some of you, because truly, too many of you have sat in rooms where you have cried and you have said to yourself, am I just going through this by myself? And that's why I formed this page. I did not form this page so I could be on Facebook. I did not form this page so I could have 1,000 followers. No, there's a time where we have to be so authentic, and I think that's now. I think people are lost. People are lost and looking for answers, and perhaps you might be that individual that gives those answers through your service, through what you're doing, through your example. I went over my time. I'm about to wrap it up. So I just want to say this. Remember, don't procrastinate on your goals. That has been our theme all week, and I will wrap this whole series up on Friday. But the biggest thing is this. I want to see many of you post quotes and comments and action steps that you're going to take to wipe the slate clean today. What can you do within the next 7 hours to show and to affirm that, you know what, I am recommitting to my goals? Because that's what it's about. You can make $10,000 if, as a side, on your side hustle. You can lose that weight. You can feel happier about your life. It's just that you have to be willing to do something different, even if you don't feel like it within the next 8 hours. You got to take one firm step. Well, I want to say this was really a wonderful time. I want to thank you all for tuning in now. And for those of you who tune in later, guess what? We will be having our coaching Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. So go and grow. And I want to tell you, you mean the world to me in terms of how you are when you engage your authenticity. Love you all. Liz, thank you for tuning in. Janelle Hall Blondell, thank you for tuning in. Everyone else, thanks for tuning in later. You guys, take care. Remember, you're beautiful. You're valuable, and nothing about you is a mistake.